Apple Notes or Bear Notes? This is a question that usually pops into my comment sections. In this video, I'm going to put them side by side and answer this question for you. I'm going to run through all these features that the applications have and I can think of and run a comparison between them, and hopefully by the end of the video you have a decision. This video is going to be long, it's going to be in depth. Grab a coffee, grab popcorn, whatever you have in the fridge, and enjoy the rest of the show. Okay, so we have both applications side by side, and the way I broke down this video, I'm going to take you through the fundamentals. What are the applications different fundamentally? Then UI, user interface and user experience. Then all the features, and then data management, privacy and security of the applications, and then show you on the different platforms what you get out of these two applications. So with that said, let's start. Fundamentally, what are these applications? What are the differences between these two applications? The way they store notes in both applications are in a database called SQLite. It is a lightweight database. For Apple Notes, there's no format. There's no specified format in the database for storing these notes. For Bear Note, also the same. The only difference is when you want to export a note. Apple Notes give you text option, simple TXT, and PDF option. I didn't see any other export option other than if you get third-party script that convert your notes into different formats such as rich text file or markdown. But for Bear Note application, you will get a lot of different standards of the extension on the market. I'll show you later in depth. I'll show you clearly what are these formats. But for now, I want to have a mindset of what you're dealing with. Your data is in your control. It's stored in your iCloud, and both of these applications store your data locally. No other company, no other person or third party accesses your data. So which means that with both of them, you get the security and control and ownership of your data. So with the full control, there's a caveat here. With Apple Notes, you can't export bulk export your notes using standard extensions on the market natively. You have to use third parties and you have to do some manual work around that. With Bear application, you can export your notes, you can back up, you can do whatever you want. You can select literally all your notes and export them into Markdown, into whatever you want. And why is it important? Because, for example, based on my own experience, I always advise people to have a plan B, like to choose applications that you have control over import and export of your data. I've been using OneNote for quite a long time in the past, and I have a bad experience. Still, a huge chunk of my data stayed in OneNote because the export options is not there. So OneNote is basically a unique way storage of data, vector, all the objects that you drop in it. It's not possible to export it easily. It's just you can export it as a PDF or just completely select all the text in your file manually and import it in another application, which makes migration quite difficult. So in the future, this basically makes the application a bit future-proof, having control over import and export of your data. For example, if you want to migrate your data from Bear Note or Apple Notes, let's say I'm tired of this application, or let's say Bear application wants to quit supporting the application, says, okay, we are out of here. Then you said, okay, thank you, it was a good ride. I'm taking my data in a few seconds and I'm just leaving, exporting them to another application. So migration gonna be easy. That's why I'm saying to pay extra attention. What application you're choosing, you should have easy import and easy export. Passing this subject, now we have organization. The way you organize your data fundamentally is different in these two applications. In Bear Note, you have tags and subtags. You have nested tags. And literally, there's no concept of folder in this application. I understand it takes a little bit of getting used to for some people. Some might feel comfortable with it, like me. I feel extremely comfortable. I love this concept because it's easy, it's quite fast. Some people might hate it because traditionally they want folder, they want to basically drop things into folder, move them out, move them in manually, and I understand that. So have this in mind. In Apple Notes, you have tags, but your tag is single dimension. You can't have subtags. You have folders you can drop in manually. You can sectionize your basically workflow, your second brain. In bare note application, you have tags and subtags. You can easily, like for example, I have this note. I can say, okay, I want this to belong to books, and I want this to belong to, let's say, home. And both this section now contain this note. So wherever I go in these two hashtags, I can access this this note, and I can make it a sub hashtag. Let's say if I want to create a new section, I can easily say AAA here and BBB, which is a child of it. Now, if I go back here, you can see that it creates a nested tag for me. It both exists on the parent and on the child. So I just want to have a mental idea of how Bear application organizes your notes and how you can organize your notes in Apple Notes. Passing to the next subject, we have user interface and user experience. How is it different in these two applications? In Bear Note application, the idea is revolving around minimalism. So you can see that all these sections on the Apple Notes are hidden in this button. So when I press on it, it will appear and disappear on the note. The note itself, the environment itself, you can use Control 1, 2, 3 to enter, to collapse and expand these panels. It easily, quickly moves you to the Zen mode. I love it because it's minimalistic, it's quite focused. I can just then expand this completely and just be focused on the text I'm writing without any distraction. Going back to here on the Apple Notes side, you have this button which collapses and expands this column here for you, the folder column. And here you can switch between tile view and list view, and then the rest of your commands are here. Both applications have a fairly quick search ability, so the search on both applications are quite fantastic. I can't flaw them in any way. This section on the Bear application is basically the default sections that your notes gonna belong into. This is identical to all iCloud, so it contains all your notes. Whatever you didn't categorize will go to untag. To do whichever notes that contain a to do will go there. So if I just add a to do here, then it will appear in the to do section. And then I have today's, which the notes that I created today or modified today, and then locked are the notes that I made them private and set a password on them. Archive are the notes that I don't need anymore at the moment. We'll move to archive, and trash is the deleted. On the other hand, Apple Notes got some new sections here. These are math notes, which a new feature in the iOS 18 and also the new Mac OS. The call recordings, which any phone call that you press recording will store here as a transcribed. Share notes, which is lacking in Bear Notes application. You can't collaborate in Bear Notes. This is some feature that Apple Notes has an extra. So you can share literally any note to anybody who has an iCloud, and it will sit on their Notes application. It will send the link through iCloud, and then you can collaborate on the same note together. And then beside that, the rest are self-explanatory. I don't need to go through them. These are folders. You can have subfolders. You can have smart folders like this one. This is also something that is lacking in Bear Notes application. You can't have a smart tag or something similar with the same concept. In Apple Notes, you can have basically smart lists, smart notes that can have certain filters on them. For example, certain hashtags will appear in this folder, and then your hashtags will appear here. Another thing that you need to be mindful of is the style and the theme, the colors, everything. If you're someone who cares about the user interface, with Apple Notes, you're pretty much stuck with light and dark theme, and you have to change the entire theme of your OS to get that. You got one icon, but with the Bear Note application, you have a handful of themes to select from, so this application would never get boring for you, and all of them are absolutely beautiful. Let's stay with this one, it's pretty. And the icon also, you can change the icon and it will change your icon. I know it's something that a lot of people might not care about, but theme, at least I know people love to change their theme, right? And with Apple Notes, you are pretty much stuck with two. Proceeding to the functionality of the applications, both applications have all the features, literally are very feature rich in terms of editing a note, adding certain things like attachments, highlights, and even drawing. So in your Apple Notes, you know, one of the main functionalities that a lot of people are using on the iPad is drawing on the iPad. I wanted you to know that BearNote also has it. So, and it uses exactly the same utensil and the same SDK for drawing in your note. So it doesn't lack anything compared to Apple Notes. Somehow it has some more to offer. So with Apple Notes, let's start here. You have ability to add tables, attachments, basically different sort of headings, numbers, bullet list, numbered list, quote, strike through, all these operations that you can do on the text. These are all available on the Bear application, so you can just click on this one. Let me collapse this so I get. You can see that you can highlight, you can literally make the text italic, bold, insert any sort of tables, attachments, and all the rest of the commands are here, and you can hide and show this command bar. With Apple Notes also you got the same things, but the extra things that BearNote has to offer is a rich selection of commands. For example, I can add my title here, and then command 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gives me all the different headings. I can do different things. For example, make a text bold. It's a bold text. I can select the command B, and if you notice, when I press command B or command I here, select this and then command I, it makes it italic. So did you see what happened? It uses Markdown for it. BearNote has the ability to be used as a Markdown text editor, which means that, for example, if I learn the commands with Markdown, I can easily utilize them in my work environment. So this is a bold text now, and did you see how I created a to-do? And this is also possible with command T, and then command dot will set it as checked. So taking notes in Bear application might be faster because you get both Markdown, which is a standard, and commands. The commands are much richer in BearNote application. On the other hand, if you want to just manually edit things, you can learn some of the commands from here. Shortcut keys is not as rich as BearNote application on the Apple Note, but it is possible. So dash list, you can see that you can learn these and then utilize them. But for example, if I want to create a dash list, I don't know if it's available in, so it's available in Apple Notes to certain level, but it's much cleaner and nicer in Bear application. This is a list, and this is a child, and you can see that. If I press enter, it goes back, gets undented, and then press enter again, removes it. So other than that, let's focus a little bit on the commands that you can apply to the note itself. Right click on, start with Apple Notes, right click on the note, you can pin the note, you can lock note, you can duplicate, share note, add a tag to it, move it, delete it, and here in the Bear application, you can again pin on top. You can copy a link, copy identifier. Copy link is very useful. For example, if you're working with the Todoist, you can, Things application. I see a lot of people collaborate nicely, copy a link from this BearNote application and paste it there in their to-dos. You can export, delete, archive, make read-only, duplicate, and exactly everything that you saw there, plus some additionals. Copy as, for example, plain text, rich text, markdown, HTML. This is not export yet. So with export, as I told you before, you get these formats, get a lot of formats. Again, I'm going to go through them later in the data management. Up here, you have commands that I showed you. The command bar will appear and disappear. Statistics, basically these are some of the useful things for writers, especially that they can see how many characters, how many words. Not only writers, those I think it's going to be a lot useful for students as well. Then table of content, the way you style your notes gonna affect here, and then link backlinks. I'll show you later. It's related to wiki links and how you link and backlink in your notes. And then these three dots, again, these are additional commands that you can apply to your note, which is all self-explanatory and doesn't worth going through. Let's try some of these operations. Pinning on top, pin my notes, and again, pin on top, pin this note. I can privacy add password. In Bear application, I can provide my biometric, or which I prefer do it this way, provide my biometric. In Apple Notes, Lock Note, I can only use password. Oh, I can enable Touch ID. So it's close all lock notes, and if I provide my biometric now, I should be able to access the note. And here, if I go to my locked note, testing features is accessible now because the application is still open. I can lock it, and then again, exactly same thing will happen. I'm going to give the video a short pause here and talk about the sponsor of the channel, AquaVoice. AquaVoice, despite being a young yet fast-growing company, they decided to sponsor the channel for long term, and it's a pleasure working with them. It's a very powerful application. You can see that it opens in the background and summons with pressing 5 key, and it's a clever AI assistant, AI dictation assistant, which captures everything I say, understand the context, corrects my speech, and then boom, it just pastes here everything. So watch it, and definitely you're gonna like it. This is Aqua, and it's gonna be on my dock from now on. But wait, I didn't tell you the full story yet. AquaVoice is a clever AI dictation tool which lives as a standalone application on your desktop, and you can summon it each time you need to using a shortcut key. This is a title created by Aqua. Now let's start typing here. I mean, talking here. As you saw, AquaVoice corrected everything, understanding the deep context. youtube.com/@BenzCyberLife. Did you see what just happened? I provided instructions using natural language. Meet Mason for lunch at 2 p.m. at 1:30 p.m. Public, static, class, student, open curly braces. I can even use AquaVoice for casual coding and typing my syntax for me. Now let's try some vibe coding. Let's create a HTTP client with a post method. Change the base URL to localhost 5050. That was amazing. AquaVoice detected the variable and the value itself from the screen using deep context. AquaVoice got you everywhere. It's just one shortcut key away. Now you know why I decided to keep it on my dock forever. In terms of attachments, both applications are quite comprehensive. You can attach a lot of different items into your notes, files, documents, images. With Apple Notes, I think there are some restrictions. You might not be able to attach everything. Let me try a PDF file here. So if I drag drop, okay, your attachment wasn't added. Lock notes can't oh, it's because it's locked. So allow me to unlock it, then remove lock. So you have to keep that in mind. I forgot about it. If your note is locked, you might not be able to add attachments to it. Going back here, testing features, heading, and let's try the attachment. Passing the, okay, it's worked, and it shows as an embedded PDF. And here again, embedded PDF, which is nice. You can also resize it, I think. Yeah. So attachment work. Something extra that Apple Notes has, and you got to be mindful of, is this button here, which is record audio. This is not available in BearNote application. You can record your voice, which I think comes handy for a lot of students. In BearNote, you can attach voice notes, but you got to record it elsewhere, like in your voice note application, and then transfer it into your Bear application. Moving to the next subject is the data management. As I told you at the beginning, you have the full control of your data, full ownership of your data in both applications. Both applications stores your notes in a SQL database, which stores in your iCloud, and is shared among all your devices. Both applications sync your notes flawlessly. Import and export is tricky in Apple Note. It's not as simple and straightforward. But in Bear application, it's so generous. So literally you can see that, like, if I export a note, I can have all the standard extensions on the market. So you're not gonna face any trouble importing and exporting. I previously was on Obsidian, and I imported partially a lot of my notes from what was the application called? Evernote. Yeah, partially imported from Evernote, and I remember I didn't face any trouble at all importing my notes into Bear application. And from Bear application, I imported partially into Apple Notes. But exporting in Apple is unfortunately not as simple and as straightforward. I can share the notes with people, but that sends a link to collaborate. But if I want to export, you can see that I have export as PDF, which is useless, literally just like for viewing. Is going to be useless in any other application. Now let's try multiple selections. Select multiple, and you can see that even the share option is not available anymore. File, export as PDF is available. I don't know how it behaves, how it's going to export multiples, but I'm going to try. So selected, and okay, so it's just disregarded the rest of the selections and just pick the first one. Ridiculous, I know. But with Bear, the behavior is much better. So I can select multiple notes and export. And again, I have all the noun extensions on the market. I can choose Markdown, and it even exports my attachments, any attachment that I have on the note. So if I export notes into, let's create a document here, export, and then you can see that it exports all the attachments separately and export the notes. And if I want to import these into a different application, I shouldn't have any problem. With backup, Apple says that they have backup of your Apple Notes. You're not going to face any data loss in terms of the data also historically is stored. They have versions of your data. So if you lose your data, you can revert it. You can revert to the snapshots and revert your data historically even. In Bear Notes, you can select as many as your notes that you want and then export them, or you can back them up, like backup notes here, and then let's say Bear export notes. It uses an extension called Bear to Back, which once it's finished, I can show you. So this is your, where is it? Yeah, Bear to Back file. And then when I want to restore it, I can easily restore the backup and I get those data back. Back at the data management side of the things, there's one more thing I want to show you is basically how Bear can import natively from these applications. So this is what I told you. I imported it previously from Evernote and Obsidian, and I had absolutely no problem. Everything was perfectly fine after import. Tags was sorted for me, attachments were sorted. So I had zero effort. I spent zero time arranging or modifying anything after the import. This is while Apple Note import note to notes, don't know, it doesn't have any native option. Let's try one. Let's quickly go to Bear and see, okay, if I can import. Yes, I can import MD files, which is the markdown, and I believe I can import rich text files, RTF, TXT, and just like Bear application. But the only thing that I wanted you to see is the native import in Bear application. And then when you want to link your data in both applications, you can benefit from wiki links. So in Bear application, you can just open a square bracket and start typing, for example, yeah, and it identifies the note that you have, and then you can create links to your note. And once you went there, you can see that now you have, remember this section I showed you? Now you have your backlinks options. So you can navigate back to the note that was linked into. On the Apple Notes as well, you have the same ability, but with different summon key. You can link literally to any note and link back into that note. But I don't think you have an option to see the link and link backs. One more on the Bear Note application before proceeding to different platforms is this ability to capture and scrap data from web. There is an extension you got to download from Safari extensions. It's this. What is it called? Send to Bear. So if I go somewhere, for example, Bear.app, and then press this, it will scrap all this data for me and stores them in my Bear Note application. Scraps all the links. All the links are functional. Scraps the images, even the GIF files, and it organizes data beautifully for me. It's going to be very helpful if you're researching, if you're basically want to store data from web and you're using a Safari for it. It's going to be useful. Let's try one of the links, and you can see that yes, it's functional and it directs you to the link. And that's it. That concludes the data management. Now we're proceeding to different environments. I'm going to start with Bear for Web, which is still in public beta, and I have a thorough video around it. You can watch it for yourself. Bear is published for web, is quite efficient, and there are still lacking features. It's still under development, but I haven't experienced a major bug with it. There was only one thing that caused the application, and the team immediately fixed it. So you have all these functions. I'm not going to go through them all. You can watch the video. I'm going to place a link in the description for the thorough in-depth of that specific going like deep dive into Bear for Web. You can create notes. You can organize notes. You have your tags and subtags. The icons not appearing. You don't have much settings. You can trust this device to sign in easily after it takes you through the natural sign-in process of Apple. All your data is stored in the iCloud, and there are some limitations which you can, again, watch the video for checking them all. And now we can proceed to iCloud. So in order to access your notes on a Windows machine, you got to sign into your iCloud and pass through the natural sign-in progress. There's nothing major lacking also in Apple Notes. Certain things like attachments might not work. For example, you can't record audio on your notes here, Apple Notes here. You can't do some of this stuff. For example, image attachment, I don't see it here. You have access to your tags, folder and subfolders, show it properly, pinned notes. I don't think you can lock your notes because that also takes biometric to open, and password. Not sure how the lock note will be shown here, but you can try for yourself. But you have a basic function of accessing your notes in both applications now. I think going to be much richer in Bear application, but we will see. Next thing is to go through the iPad applications and compare them side by side. First thing is Apple Note. You can see that the features are quite identical to Mac application. I'm not going to go through in depth to all of them, but this is what you get. Your side panel is here. Your folders, while you swipe, will appear. And then on the portrait mode, this is what you see. And on the landscape, again, your sidebar, and you can expand. You can even completely focus on your note. And the main idea of being on the iPad is basically having a pen and start drawing on there. And then you recently got this, with iOS 18, you got these AI features, which you can organize your note. You can modify, make it professional friendly, change the theme, tone, style, check the grammar, check the vocabulary and everything with Apple Notes. This is one feature that also available across all the devices, and you need to be mindful of. Then you have this drawing option here, which basically you can describe your image and then it will create for you. I'm not going to go through it, but you have played with it. You know that Apple Intelligence is not the best for it. With the Bear application, again, you will get this interface. This is how it looks like in Portrait. With swipe, you can access both notes and all these side panels, and then you can be fully focused on the note. Then if I tap anywhere, I can start typing. Automatically it gives me a title for the note, and then over here, if I press here on top of the keyboard, I get all these commands, and then you have drawing here. So if I press drawing, I can start drawing just like I can on Apple Note. The only thing I don't have is that AI tool. So this uses the Apple SDK, but that AI tool is not available. So you literally got everything that you have on your Mac. You can even export your notes, as you can see. You can even back up your notes. I think if I use two finger to select multiple notes, then I have ability to send them, again share them to somebody, or export them. There was a backup option somewhere which I forgot, backup and restore, but I believe there was a backup and restore option on the mobile devices as well, which I can't see them. But yeah, I think yes, here, backup all notes, restore notes, import, and you can see that even import works and it functions on your iOS devices. And then finally, iPhone. So both applications on the iPhone. Again, there are not much to talk about. Both applications are quite identical because, yeah, with iOS, what you get on the iPad, you get on the iPhone as well. So as you can see, swipe left and right, I'll get access to all the notes. Tapping on create new notes will put me in the Zen mode, and switching to landscape just for you to see is also feasible in iPhone 15. I have an iPhone 15 Pro Max, and I believe, I'm not sure about the Pro version because that screen is a little bit smaller. I don't know if this is available, but yeah, it's for you to test and let me know as well. On the Apple Note, again, you get all the features that you get on your Mac, and let's go through some of them. So you can create notes. You get all the commands on top of your keyboard here. Apple Intelligence is also available. You can share your notes with people, collaborate to do table, attachments. Let's browse through attachments, and yeah, you can even record audio as you could record on the Mac. Image Playground is the new Apple Intelligence that allows you to generate images. And on the landscape mode, again, this is how you can view your notes and start taking notes. And finally, and the most important thing, the price. So with Apple Notes, you get it for free across all your devices, except if you have an Android, you can use iCloud on your Windows machine, and the rest of the Apple ecosystem will get it automatically. It's a native application. But for the Bear application, the price is quite fair. It's $2.99 per month. I think it's the cheapest I've ever seen for such a rich feature application. And I love it because of that, because the developers are targeting a small profit margin, yet they're producing very well. It's such a great and pleasurable application to use. So for that, and I think all the features, is a very justified decision if you go with Bear Note with all the features that you get with it. I want to thank you for watching all the way through the video, all the way to the end, and watch the rest of the contents on Bear. I have a playlist called Bear With Me, which I take you from beginning, from the ground all the way to the advanced, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, take care of yourself.